Hey everyone, Coder Steve here. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to build a PHP login script using a MySQL database. So you can allow users to access a members area or a special area of your website. So let's get started and we'll get cracking on with this tutorial. So firstly, this is what the page where I'm going to build it. I've called it codetest.co.uk login system. If you need to get any of the source code, you can simply right click on the page, view page source, like that, and there you go. You can copy this and use this code on your website. I'm going to close that off for now. So firstly, we're going to need a database to store the users that register and log in. So you do this by going in your cPanel. So you can create a hosting with someone and get access to a cPanel. And you go down and you click on this little tab here that says MySQL databases. So we're going to click on that and we're going to create a new database, and I'm going to call it something like, we'll call it members, members, something like that. I'll paste that in there. We'll call it member and we'll create the database. So we've created the database. I'm just going to write these details down so I need them. So once you create your details, write them down on a bit of paper because you'll need them shortly. So we hit go back. So now we've created the database called member. We need to add a new user. So we're going to create one here and we'll call that one member as well. And then we need to make it some sort of password. I need to make it a nice strong password. So I'm going to do 112233 at. I'm writing these down. 112233 at, and then need to make it a lot stronger yet. It's only got the strength of 1. So give it ww. That's made it a bit stronger straight away. ww, then some more numbers, 999, another at symbol, 999, another at symbol, and an S. There you go. That's my password. So that's nice and strong. So you want a strong password. So I'm going to type that in again. 112233 at ww999 at S. And you create a user. So we're going to create a user. So I've created the user. Close that. We don't need that. So we've created the user, and the user's got them details. So down here further, this is very, very important. You need to add the user to the database. So I'm adding the user. I've got N. And we're adding the user to the database. So you click this. And you need to give them, just going to copy this, I'm going to need that. Just going to give them all privileges because you want the user to be able to alter, create, delete, select, insert, and update, do anything to the database that it wants to. So we make changes, and we've done that. So now you saved coder. This user has privileges on this database. Right, so that's all done. So if we hit back, go to the home of your cPanel. Now you can access your database. I'll show you how to do that now by clicking this. It's called PHP MyAdmin. So when you click on this, it fires up in a new page, and you can see the database I just created right here, and you'll see the same on the database you create. I've got another tutorial that shows you how to create a MySQL database. If you want to view that, you can view it on my channel. So you click this, and now we need to create a table. There's no tables in the database, but we need to store the members somewhere so they can log in, or once you register, it needs to store the people that are registered somewhere. So we're gonna create a I'll call it users. You can call it whatever you want, members, or anything really. And I'm going to give it three columns. So if I click go, so we've got 3 columns here that we need to fill in, and then we need to put some details about it. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to create it. The first one, I'm going to call it going to be ID, because each new user that registers has to have an ID, as in a membership ID. So say I register, I'll be member ID 1. Someone else comes along and registers, they will be ID number 2, etc. And that will continue. So everyone has to have a unique ID. The second column, I'm going to call it username. So they can log in with this. This will be their username that they register. And finally, the third column will be a password, like that. So you've got ID, username, and password. I'm going to give these an int, because that's a number. These two can be a varchar, variable character, and this one can be the same. Now we need to give them some sizes. So the int will give 11, and with the ID, you need to make it a primary key. So how to do that? You see this little checkbox here. It says A_I. That stands for auto increment, because you want the ID to automatically increment to a new ID when someone registers. So you tick this box like so, and then it says primary. Just click go, and then that one is now primary. You could have done it from the drop down. That means it's the primary key. So we need to give the other two size as well. So we're going to give these 250, and that's about it. That's all you need to do in this tutorial to create your members database, and we're calling ours users. So I'll click save the table, and there you go. That's the table. It's ID, username, and password. So if I click browse, you see there's nothing there, and that's good for now. So if we go to the website, this is where I'm going to put a login box and a register box now. So I've got some code, and again you can view source of the page by right clicking it, and you can use this code yourself. So I'll copy this, and I'll go to my files that I've started to build, and I'll paste this bit of code in here, and I'll show you what it does in a minute. So it's index, and I'm going to refresh this page just so you see what it looks like. Right, this is what we've got. We've got a PHP register and login system. I've created a box that says register, where they can register with a username and a password, and they can click register an account. Then underneath, I've got another box that says login, and this is where they can log into the account. So we'll start with the register first, and I'll show you the bit of code for this box. So we'll go here. We've got a little style sheet from here to here, which gives the style of the table, the box. Then that box actually runs from there to there. So if we look at it, it says register at the top. It's a post. You can copy all this code, or like I say, right click the page and view source, and you can get the code that way. I created a file called register.php, which I'll show you, and we've got 2 inputs, a username and password. These are HTML form inputs. If you Google that, you'll be able to see how that works, and password, and then literally register account. So got register.php. So we'll look at that code now and put that. I'll just save that to a website. Firstly, though, you'll need to create a file where you connect to your database. So before I show you that bit, I'm going to show you how to do that. Right, so go to your files. I called mine con.php. So if I edit that, I've got nothing in there. So you need to create a connection, and this is how you do it. You type back arrow, question mark, PHP, then the ending bit of code, and then you can put your connection details right in the middle of that. And I've got some code that I always keep my codes in a file, and this is how it works. I'm going to copy this, and this is a good thing to do if you've got code. Keep them safe somewhere because you can reuse them over and over again. So this is the connection. So you put localhost. This will be the user that I created for the database. So it'll be code 888m underscore member, and from memory the database was called same, but I'll just check it. And the password we put in was 112233 at, oh, we've got 3 threes there, at www999 s, and I'll save that to website as on. You can save it as whatever you want, but you will need to create a connection file. You can also put this code in the top of any file should you want to do it that way, but it's easier if you just have one file and include a link to that file in all your other files. So I'm going to check that I've just put in the right details for this. So I'm going to go back to my cPanel, and it's database is code 888m underscore member, code 888m underscore member, and I'm just going to check my users quickly under here, and this is the same. These are the users, privileged users. Yep, everything's good. Right, so that's that. And let's have a look at the register file, which is clicked when you go to register, and this is it. Here you can see I've put an include to the database connection. So that's what you want to do. This is the host username, which we got from here, username, and password there. We click the register, we got it there. I've trimmed the username. You don't have to do this, but I've just used a little PHP trim because I don't want no white space stored on the end. You don't have to do that should you don't want to. I'll take this bit of code out here. That ain't needed. That's from another script. Right, password, same, host. Then I've put this security code in because I don't want no SQL injection attacks running on my form. So I've put this in here. You can use that if you want to. It's a little special bit of code I created. And then we're going to encrypt the password before adding it to the database. So I've got a random salt here. The password from the variable up here gets mangled with the salt to create an encrypted password that no one could ever guess. And then we're going to insert it into the users table, username, password, using the variables from the form, which is up here. Yeah, so we insert it in, we run the query, and then we get the ID, the new ID created, which is very handy. And down here, it's just a bit of HTML that says thank you for registering, and a little form to log in. Right, so I'm going to save that to website, and we're going to register. So I'm going to register as myself, and If you look here, there's no one, there's no users. So we're going to register. And my password's going to be the same thing. And we're going to register the account. It says, thank you for registering. So if I refresh the table users, there you go. You can see my ID, my username. The password I put in was Coder Steve, but as you can see, it's completely mangled and encrypted, which is what you want. You don't want this ever to be in plain text in your database in case you get hacked or anything like that. People's passwords would be found out, so you always have to encrypt. I can do another tutorial on that. If you like my video, please give it a like anyway while we're doing this, and subscribe to my channel. So we've got thank you for registering, and then I've made a little box on this page. Again, you can right click this page like this, view page source, and you can get this bit of code for this box. So this is the login box now. It's similar to the register. I'm going to show you it, and it's on register, and it's just this box here. When I created a file called login.php, again we put an input, a username and a password, similar to the register, but the only bit that's changed is we created, instead of register.php, we create a file called login.php. So if I go back to the website and I can paste in my username and my password, just leave that like that ready. I'll show you the login.php file. So that's the register, like that, the connection, so that worked. Then the login, let's have a look at the login. Again, this is how it works. Includes the connection file at the top. We get the post of the username. We run a little security script. You can copy this again. This stops SQL injection attacks. Password, again there. Now we unencrypt the password to match it. So we get the password. Well, you're not unencrypting, you're just matching it to the one in the database. So we use the same style as we did on the register. Same bit of code. Then we select all from users where username equals username and password equals password. If there's a match like this, if SQL query equals 1, that's what we're looking for. Then we get the username, we start a session start. You can copy all this code, copy it as it is, and it will work on your own site. Then you use the session, we create the session variable username, and we send them off to a location called members.php. Else, if they put in the wrong username and wrong password, we just redirect them back to the login system page, and they won't be able to log in. And that's all there is to the login.php file. So we save that to website, and when they click login, they go in here. They go into members.php. So I've already created this file, so we'll have a little look at it, and we need to put the session up the top. All your sessions always go at the top. So if there's a session username, if there's no session of username, we redirect them back to login system, so they won't be able to access, and then we exit the script using this little command here, and then include connection to the database. So that's only if there's no session, they'll get this, and it won't allow them to access the members.php file. We use the session username variable from the session. Then we can get the member ID, so select from users where username equals username, as in my case, coder test, which is here, but my ID is number 1 because I'm the first registered user. So if we go back to the code, clicking the wrong tab. So you go from there to there, you've got the ID, and then this is what it says. It says, welcome username. You have successfully logged into the members area. Your member ID is ID. You can log out by clicking this link. I'll save that and I'll show you what happens when we log in. So I've put my details in here already. So just something, because it's probably remembered it or something, I don't know. Right, you have successfully logged into the members area. your member ID is 1, you can log out by clicking this link. So you see that? It says you've logged in to the members area. Your member ID is 1. You can log out by clicking this link. And that's where you can put all your members content. So you can, you can hide stuff in here, have a members area. So it's a login and register system. So if we log out by clicking this, I'll show the logout file first. There you go. It destroys the sessions. Session start, session destroy. You have been logged out, and it redirects back to the login system page. So that's all. That's all there is to it. Pretty straightforward. So I'll log out. Oh, and a scan. Yep, I need to click this, and there you go. It takes you back, and that is all there is to it. That's all there is to it. That's your PHP register and login system. I hope you liked the tutorial. If you like it, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel should you want to for more tutorials on how to code and stuff like that. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.